Hey everybody, Typhon Lordgrief here. It has been quite some time since I've recorded a video, and I'm quite a bit rusty, and I do not have a setup quite fit for it. Making content is something I have always wanted to do, and it's something that I had to give up on years ago, and it's something I'd like to pick back up. As a preface, we're going to say this is all off the cuff, all just off the top of my head, so there might even be some ums and ahs. But today, I thought we'd make ourselves have a great start with the Wildermyth series itself. I'd like to go through the series with all of you, chapter by chapter, through all the villain arcs, from the Age of Ulstryx to All Bones of Summer, and hopefully we can have some fun along the way. If this is the kind of content that you would enjoy, please comment, like, subscribe, etc. Whatever it is I'm supposed to shill. Honestly, I just love to make content that people enjoy. As time goes on, I will hopefully get a better studio for recording and that my audio might improve. If you have any suggestions, anything at all that could help out, that'd be absolutely fantastic. But for now, let's just hop right to it. And we're going to go to our next segment. We're just going to start the game. Hello everybody. Without further ado, let's go to get started. We are already in a new game, and this is Wildermyth. Wildermyth is a interactive storytelling game where you can go through, create randomly generated characters, and have them live out their own worlds and plots. The main world of the game is procedurally generated, and the stories and plots are also procedurally generated. You do have campaign modes, such as Age of Ulstryx, The Enduring War, Monarchs of the Mountain, Aluna and the Moth, and All Bones of Summer, which all have overarching villain arcs. You also have modes in the game where you can go ahead and just play a certain number of chapters. We're going to be starting off today with the Age of Ulstryx. We're going to be playing on adventure difficulty because I personally don't feel like bombing this. And then we're going to do carved in stone because I feel like that's the only thing that actually is really good. Alright, who do we got? Our future mystic is going to be a greedy leader named Griffbore. Let's see what his history is. In a mining settlement built on top of an ancient ruin, a precocious boy like Griffbore could thrive. Daily, some new and hideous curiosity was unearthed. One bad year, he was snowed inside the mountain village. Bandits raided through the winter, and the ensuing cold and widespread starvation, most of the townsfolk perished. Griffbore was one of the few to claw gauntly on. A creeping madness gnawed him. To avoid facing it, he faced danger instead. His 3 traits are going to be Curious, Shame, and Habited. We'll see how those progress into it. His aspects are right here. We can actually do some light customization. We can customize his head, face, color, and size. We're not really going to do that in this one. Sometimes you do start off as relationships, and if you have legacy characters, they will have relationships forged through your story. We'll get to that in a second. Under stats, I have all of this. You're going to see me click 0 of it, because I like to test things out. And down here you have your personality traits. This is what actually decides their little title here. You have leader, greedy, bookish, poet, hothead, loner, coward, healer, snark, goofball, and romantic. Like I said, we're touching none of that. I have no need to touch that because I'm not playing with transformations right now. With that, we're done with Griffbore. Let's go take a look at Ethusia. History. If she wasn't reading something as a girl, then folks who knew Ethusia claimed she was most likely sleeping, eating, or dead. She traveled and traded in gravel pelts for years. People said she'd do anything for the right amount of money. She always wanted to be a mother, to raise smart and world-wise kids in good health. We have a literary, thorny, and distant. We'll take a look. She is a greedy peacemaker. Then we take a look at the personality. She's not going to be able to do really any of this very well. These are all percentage chances whenever you get into the actual story. No relationships, of course, because we're just starting off. Nothing out of the ordinary in her aspects. Then we have Coglin. Coglin's history is... Coglin lived 2 childhoods, one in the midst of Feyfast, studying and contributing to the work of his brilliant father, the other romping in the near woods with an affectionate but reclusive mother. He came near to drowning in the river when a bridge collapsed. Since that time, he bore aversion to rushing waters. Fond of melancholy and reflective literature, he dreamed of writing his own someday. So we have nostalgic, wild heart, literary. Go down to personality. Bookish, coward, loner, poet, hothead. So he'll be good at all these ones. Hothead is even like a really weak one, so we're really going to see these ones come up. No relationships, no aspects out of the ordinary. Alright, let's start. In this book, there's room in it for another story. It's cold. I'm stuck here. Oh, we had to think of a voice. Maybe I won't survive tonight. Then these words are for my friends. If you find me, be brave, Calglin, Ethusia. This is a warning, but where do I begin? Here in our yondering country, something in the woods very strange. Concerned only with the depth and echo of his own thoughts, a young man named Calglin takes the seasonal road to the town of Mythold. It's a timeless problem, the stone in the shoe. When should one bend or move it? When is it finally time? Where's that threshold between discomfort and laziness? I could write a treatise, probably. Breeze is light that day. Birds are timid. In fact, the whole world is taking a breath, ready to leap into the sea. I'm here already, huh? Here's the hard part, getting Ethusia out of the house. I'm sure there's some broken-winged bird the woman decided to care for, and that's smoke. Fluttering flames roost among the far-off rooftops. Calglin hurries towards the town, thinking of Ethusia, a young woman who he's known since boyhood. Let's see. And when in doubt, we will go ahead and just randomly roll dice here. Get my dice roller up and going. Number 2. They're gonna be friends. You must have tried to cook breakfast again. Ethusia, you alright? I'll get you out, just make a little noise. As we continue on, I'm going to slowly transition the voice to something a little bit more comfortable for my throat and what I believe fits them better. Her house is still standing, at least. Ethusia, fire out here! You're not sleeping, are you? He doesn't know. Why's no one? Ethusia shoves it open. Hey, do you not smell the... I smell the smoke. Get inside. Your bow. Yeah, there's things in the streets. You didn't see any, like monsters, I don't know. I've got one trapped behind... Peru. Behind the house. Well, burn in here. I mean, we could try and fight it. Right, so here I've got some tools around. You're stronger than I am. You can swing something pretty good. I bet we can at least drive it off. Alright. As always. Alright, looks like we're gonna be a pickaxe main. If it'll break stones, it'll break bones. It can be killed, right? Just be ready when you open that door. Stack everybody up. We don't have, at this point in the game, because everyone's such a fledgling, we don't actually have the ability to do attacks of opportunity, so we're just going to stack everybody and get the walling bonus. Alrighty. And gone. There's the row. Alright, so we have a Greenhorn Warrior. Let's see. Untouchable is really useful, but it's not as useful as it sounds. It's better whenever you get the upgrade to it. I don't necessarily care much for Sentinel. Blood Rage is super good. There's nothing like having somebody get the shit kicked out of them and then immediately hopping on and just doing hella damage. Alright, we have Archery, Crippling Strikes, Foxflight. Archery is going to be the best of this. And then we're going to increase accuracy. We're going to increase it for her. Woo, did it get to you? I have some bandages inside. Wow, you can really fight, Calglin. The creature's death is quiet. It seems to slip from life in a few stunned, hazy blinks. They'll spend a piece of the day getting the flames under control. The damage isn't as bad as it could have been. Townsfolk emerge from hiding to fight fires and clear debris. some full of curiosity, others visibly haunted by what they've seen. We should go. Griffbore is alone, unless you think... I'm not sure who's safer suddenly. He's at the ruined tower by now. Anyway, what about my house? No one's gonna steal your stuff. Griffbore, he'll be waiting for us. What happened here today could be happening everywhere, couldn't it? Something about that tower is just stuck in my mind. It's like when you get an apple skin in your teeth. Is it really? Huh? Yeah. Anyway, I just think we said we'd meet him. We should. The tower in the hills, you've been there. Yeah, once. Actually, looking at the tracks, they've come and they go that direction. Coglin and Enthusia followed the pounded path of monstrous feet, hoping for the best and dreading every other possibility. Alright, let's see what these two are to each other. We have a 1. Oh, they're rivals. Just be breathing, okay, so we can all yell and go home. A wordless while passes between them, but the quiet only heightens their worry. I know you don't exactly get along with Griffbore these days. Maybe not, no. You know what it is. It's like today. While we clean up what I'm going to assume was his mess, I bet that busybody's up there now, without a care in the world. Alright, this is the overworld. We're just gonna go straight there. The previous night, the tower where Griffbore had arranged to meet Coglin and Ithusio is a place he often used to escape to as a boy. He knows its rooms and floors so well, he could survive being chased through them. And now I wait, I suppose. Dusk gets deep as rain puddles in there. Alive is alive, better to have a plan if that beast breaks through. You don't mean any of this, do you, beast? You're trapped in whatever sickness has changed you. The tower is an heirloom of an earlier people. The locals have lost a legend of it. Weathered and sagging, it defends nothing now, not even from the rain. But as the old will tell you, precious things go overlooked in a ruin. What lodges amid the bone of failure is often the dream that drove it. That book, why have I never... Easy there. I guess you're wondering why I'm talking to myself, huh, beast? I'm also wondering. Griffbore bends to pull it loose. The book's heavier than its slender spine suggests. Look at all this. It's full of strange stories, the folklore of a folk long forgotten. The circles of the ancients. It's wild nonsense, how a woodcutter can read things inside old trees to find the exact moment a grove began calling itself a forest. The Coinclaw Bear and the Benstrom Fox is mostly a conversation between a miserly bear and a traveling fox. In the final sentence, the fox stamps the bear's soul into a coin and sends him around the world on the current of exchange. The Mythhold Dancer claims there once danced a woman in so many spinning circles that she stopped moving and everything else began to turn instead. Griffbore reaches the last word of the final tall tale. A few blank pages are left. This book. Something in him feels like it's coming loose, but he can't exactly tell what. There's room in it for another story. It's cold. I'm stuck here. This is a warning, but where do I begin? Here, in our yondering country, Griffbore writes. Words are ready. Omens have formed in the fabric of everything, and he's beginning to recognize them now. Some are just misgivings. They crept through his body like a sourceless aches one wakes with. Others are more substantial. Now they seem lightning plain, a promise of thunder. For in the wild black woods where birds once belled, a hateful silence churns. Pain lights Griffbore's head. Subsides. I made it to morning. He lowers his bleary eyes. His story lies before him in luminous script. Empty pages have sprouted behind it. Why do I feel powerful? Alright, we're gonna go ahead and roll. He pulls a spoon from his pocket. Open wide, beast. I'm getting out of here. Alright, we're gonna do some interfusion training. What you do is you interfuse objects, which gives you special abilities, which you can cast magic through. That's the magic system in this game. It doesn't really come out of nowhere, but it's kind of elemental based. And it manifests via you inhabiting objects. And there we go. There goes the Rager. Alright, what do we got? Humanist. Soul Splitting. Soul Splitting is really good for keeping your magic user alive. This is really good, but I find that you just never seem to find them enough. So we're going to do Soul Splitting. What that does is for every interfused object I have, I get 2 damage reduction. And then the object takes some damage. We got a snake stone necklace. More monsters roam the ruined halls and rattle the rotting furniture. But Griffboar moves quietly, sensing his way in the dark. Daylight lands on his wrist. Cool wind soothes his tired eyes. Is it still the same world? He closes the tower door, gentle to make no noise. Was that the mystic's art that I did, right, tower? Where did I get it from? Could it have just happened? Is it just one of those things a man's born with, that might blossom in his life when he needs them? Maybe I can't know, but I can already feel the responsibility. Griffboar! Need to figure out what all I can do with his power, how to use it well. Griffboar, you bunkhead! Hey, Griffboar, something happened? Halglin, yes, sorry. Ethusia's voice just bounces off my ear sometimes. Halglin and I only barely made it here. Yeah, see that smoke on the horizon? That's from the town. Yeah, that's Mythhold. It burned. Things are different than they were. Yeah, well, I don't know if you have ever seen something quite like this. A monster? Sure, we have. We slay monsters. Okay, well, I do magic. We're gonna immediately assault. Tactically, is there any information that might be pertinent? A perfect understanding isn't likely to emerge. What these beasts are, where they came from, what drove them to attack the town of Mythhold, but letting them nest here feels like the wrong idea. Do we fan out, get aggressive, or maximize our defenses and stay tight? Sure, well... I'm gonna go for courage. Back at my house, it's pretty simple. Kill the beast before it kills you. Nice and simple. Rush everybody right up because nothing's right here. Open door. We got a row. Interfuse with this. Splinter Blast hit both of them. Move him up. Move her back to wall and shoot the raccoon. And that's why archery is so useful. And done. We're gonna do bonus damage. It's a necklace, so let's throw it on Ethusia. She can spread her damage out a little bit more. The last mishap creature folds its bones and dies. Blue fluid darkens to dust. Just blood, I suppose. Corrupted blood. Corrupted is a heady word. Hey, look at us. Look what we did. Yeah? Day drops, day rises. Dusk is sweet, the sunrise sweeter. It's not long before they've cleared out the old tower up a bit. I've always liked its weird stairs and stones, and it did save me. Are you thinking about what comes next? I am. And I don't just mean drinks either. I mean, let's not wait to be overrun. We're a company of heroes now. We'll walk the land. We'll fight. People need us. We'll give ourselves a name and make sure it's the one that they'll sing. Sounds like you've thought about this. Alright, now we're going to name the company. Let's see if any of these are really nice. We have Aina's Generation, the League of Heron, the Magi of the Cherished Thrush. We're going to go with the League of Heron. That sounds kind of cool. After that, the three of them are inseparable. Rumors are rampant. Heroes are needed. This world will be flooded in sorrows, but its offenders are joined by a fire that night. And now, here fall the tales of the League of Heron. Be remembered. We're going to immediately start recruiting. I will send... We'll just send one of them back. We're going to send the Mystic. While these guys secure this location, we're going to want to find an item. Kind of got that mixed up. Let's try that again. Recruit. Riftborg, go recruit. These two are going to secure this while he recruits. Time management is very important in this game. Looks like we have an aloof poet named Cobaline. Let's take a look at what she's got. Alright. Her history is... The chanting orchard seemed one morning to speak thrice. Cobaline, Cobaline, Cobaline. 2 weeks later, a child was born. This runic name a birthmark on his shoulder. She stood on hilltops whenever summer rain blew gently down and wondered what it is truly to love. A soft bed makes for a soft woman. Someone important must have told her. Cobaline wanted little more than a crook among roots, a pillow of memories, a ceiling haunted by planets. So she has destiny, a flirt, and she is gritty. Let's go. It didn't take long to trek back to Mythold, and the town still seemed like the best bet for finding another able pair of hands. Wait! It's you, from the heroes! Right, anyway. I was hoping you'd come back. Everything alright? Oh, everything's fine, and that's just it. It's been quiet at Mythold for so far, but I've heard those things you said. That talk of linking our hearts into an unbreakable chain of legend. And it stuck with me, more than I would have thought. Is that how we put it? I suppose forming a company of heroes can get one a little fired up. You were right, though. The woods have darkened with branching peril, but such a company, a family forged in battle, should not be underestimated. Well, we could use another fighter on our side if you're up for it. Oh, fantastic! I'm glad you offered. After all, when danger drops in, you'd rather have a pair of daggers than 24 butter knives. Far be it from us to turn you down, then. Alright, I usually like to start off with a second warrior, and she likes 2 daggers, so we're gonna go for it. So he's gonna be sitting here recruiting her while they do this. As you can see, the world, this is only like a small fragment of it. As you go through chapters, you're going to unlock more and more of the world. You do research to get materials to build items in between matches, or you can do it in the middle of it, but I would not recommend for the early game to do that. And then you get items from it. So we're going to throw higher dodge chance. Take a look at who we have. We're going to throw that on Coglin. I'm going to try and make him to a bit more of a tank. While they do Mythold, these two can go up and scout here. They will likely get randomly attacked during it. Cobaline is ready. Let's see what we have. We can get Backslam and then go for an armor build on her. Raider is good because you can set flames down and then interfuse them and make them jump. But you can also just, find fire or get a torch. Sentinel is not bad. I just generally don't like to run it. So we're going to do backslam. And then we'll move everybody to go scout. I'm sorry, my new pants. You were new ones, fresh, hopeful pants. Your tailor was so expensive. It's been 10 days or more in the swamp. Athusia is away from camp this morning, exploring a mostly tumbled and sinking ruin in the southern stretches of Pepper Wraith Marsh. The worst of the water is only waist high, but it's fetid and fever warm. And who would have wanted to build out here anyways? Snake folks, I guess. Scaly and silver and muck-loving. Glad there's no snake folks nowadays. Honestly, don't even care anymore. Just glad Griffboar can't see me right now. Oh, but this building looks actually intact. The structure, hidden by vegetation and thick mud that coats everything, leans on its sturdy bones, its outer walls crumbling in places but still firm. From within, a cool draft blows, a fresh smell of rainwater from a forest glade far from here. All this better be, ow, worth it. It's a tight squeeze to get past the half-blocked entry. Broken stone grips and rips at her. With a last surge of effort, Athusia spills into the chamber. Oof! Oh. A lovingly laid rim of stonework surrounds a sparkling spring. 100 years of hard weather has carved several openings in the roof. Sun slants through. The water's so clear, smells so clean. Alright, let's see. I've never had this encounter, so I feel like... Let's just dive in. She's feeling bad. We'll get her nice and clean. Cold water encloses her for a moment. All of her skin slithers with a sensation as dry mud peels away. Prickles climb her legs, back, neck, and then... Athusia surfaces. Oh no. This isn't right. My feet feel like fly swatters. Head's all muddled. The ease and pleasure of gliding on water momently overtakes her, but a sudden shadow turns her round. It plummets through one of the gaps in the ceiling. It's just a duck. Huh? Wise... Swim. Athusia began to understand what's happened to her. What she doesn't realize is that she makes a rather queenly duck. Oh no. This is bad. Permanent? No, it can't be. It's just, well, it can be. I suppose I should prepare for the possibility that I'm just a duck now. Another realization strikes her. Oh, you must be a person too. Quack. Have you tried climbing out? Athusia swims past towards the stone lip of the spring. Flapping her wings in an ungainly struggle, Athusia hauls herself out of the water. A familiar feeling settles in her. Weight, length, strong hands. Athusia straightens. Oh, I'm back. It's just this spring. Kneeling, she beckons him ashore. Come on up. Let's see who you really are. You're an actual duck. A short while later. Athusia, we're leaving if we can. As long as I can find you. Ease up, Colglen. I'm over here. Hey, we got our maps in order. Just came to get you and we're on our way. Find anything? A duck. A duck. You won't leave me alone. Sometimes creation smiles. That's pretty good. Oh, that's all 5 pets. I did it, everybody. Alright, we're gonna come down here and scout. We'll get this area cleaned up. And then we're going to have to build a path somewhere. I know there's one right there, but I'd like to get one right here for future. We're going to assault. And you can scout and lower the intensity of the assault and make them a little bit weaker. I don't usually find that really does anything this early game, or at least at this level. If you're playing on higher difficulties, adjust your expectations accordingly. Is that Cobaline up there? Yeah, it looks like she's coming back. Hey, it's just like Athusia said. Mythold is just over the hill. Time for a new pint and a hot meal. This is a waste of time. Still having a few hours of daylight. We should press on. Oh. We've been traveling a lot lately. We could all use the break. Tomorrow we fight, but tonight we drink. Come on, I'm buying the first round. You all go ahead without me. I don't feel like pumping it tonight. You know what? I'll catch up to you later. Let's see. Coglin seems like a really nice guy. We'll have him, like, train with her. Hey, how about you help me with that leg sweep move? You mean the sweeping swallow? Oh, it's not just called the drop-down spinny leg sweep thing. I spent a fair amount of time perfecting it. The least you could do is get the name right. Weeping Willow, I got it. You don't have to stay just to keep me company. Hey now, nailing this move could save my life someday. That it could, and practicing can't hurt, especially given how bad you were hurt last time you tried. Alright. Stack everybody to the door. I'll even just open it, let's just go. Move up to here. And wait. Not a very good shot. We're going to move Cobaline up. She can get a shot at the row. Move him here, and then just have him guard, even though nothing's going to come up. Move her here for a clearer shot. There we go. We're going to move Griffbore up. We're going to interfuse here. That looks like Flare, but I think any of these have Discus. We have Steel Fire here. Jump into there, and then we can move it next turn. Rude. The raccoons are surprisingly one of the roughest enemies in these early campaigns. They do a ton of damage and they shred armor. That should be a raccoon for next turn. Move her up. Make sure nothing's in here. We have another raccoon and another row. We'll move you up to wall. And then we'll move him here to tank. And wall. Alright, Coglin. Cobaline. Alright, there we go. That's encountered. Alright, we have a new bow, so that's just automatically going to go to Thusia. We'll move down here. Another interesting aspect to this game, and we'll get there when we get to longer campaigns with 5 chapters, is each of your characters here will eventually retire. They will age out of adventuring, and either they'll have kids or be able to pass the mantle on. So it's advisable whenever you get to later chapters and longer campaigns to build up multiple teams at once. Some kind of basement over here. Dinner? Dinner's me, right? That's what I'm thinking. Hey, are you listening? They've been late all day. Late rising, late on the trail, late to recognize sunset, and late in spotting this ruin. It is the remains of a small structure, splayed and molding in a starlit clearing. Ethusia, are you coming down? Not a lot here to see, is there? Pretty cramped for a fire, guys. Someone's worked at this table, knife lines, stains of sediment. Ash on the floor. It's chalk. What are these hash marks? And what's in the box? Remember that there's this burst in Opal Night, when Spira comes to the Umber Lady's Hall? Past the open portal, shadows packed like raven's plum, dimming all discovery, sharply dark and darkness doomed. Spira's dark light shimmered spent, snuffed, dispelled, left all agloomed. This place isn't like that, I guess, but nowhere's poem perfect. I do love the night verses. Used to dream myself into them sometimes. This box is puzzle locked. Hmm? One of those magic puzzle locks. Oh, is it words or numbers? Words. Thank all gods. Remind me how these function. Enchantments, old ones. Don't think anyone does it these days. Lock words, they call them, or words or phrases that spring the box open. The magic lock presents a prompt with a clear slate to write an answer. The wise wanderer finds home where... From the looks of this place, owners didn't do much wandering. Hmm? Well, air's turning out better than I thought. Cook a dinner, make a night of it, chalk some guesses? Want to help me? Me? Sure. They haul their gear down slippery stairs. Griffbor pretends to try and unclog the chimney pipe. This forces Cobaline into dinner duty. Althusia goes to the old books lying about. None of them hold her interest long. Cobaline makes a weak broth no one will enjoy. They shout and scribble guesses in the meantime. Who comes up with the correct lock words? Alright, let's find out. My dice say number 2, so it's going to be Griffbor. The wise wanderer finds home. Where he's earned one? Alright, I might have interfused that time, sorry. Here you all are. Searched up and down. My scouting trip got cut short. Gorgons are closing in. Come on. At least he found us. Whoops. Oh, forgot to... What's in there? Scrolls. Bundles of scrolls. And maybe some letters? Disappointed? It passed the time. Got some legacy points out of that. Alright, we have a Rager in a row right up front. See if we can't Wild Grasp and hold it in place. 75%. Alright, now it's pinned and cannot move. Let's see if we can't just get it out of the game this turn. Move up here for walling. Its basic attack is much better than its actual, like, charge attack. I don't think it's in range for that, but we're gonna find out. Ah, very sad. Very, very sad. Oh, we'll grab you. Get over there. Move forward one, and the row is gone. Move Enthusi up, and we're just going to get everybody to this door. We will end turn. Let's open the door. We have one solitary raccoon. Hate these things. And it's down. So, probably back behind the building somewhere we'll have another enemy. Move him up. Interfuse with that to look back behind there. I see nothing. Go ahead and withdraw from this tree, because I don't need it. Move Colleen up here. We'll move him up here. Get a walling bonus and guard. Alright, look at his Rager. Hello, friend. Oh, well. I'm less enthusiastic about my hello now. We can get... Splinter Blast. I'll shred armor. Move Cobaline up. And that's all she wrote. There we go. Alright, so we have Brawl Guard. This is the... There's two sets of armor. Usually there's a trade-off between defense and offensive ability. For the Warriors, there's a trade-off between being able to hit crit more and get more dodges versus armor. the armor with more armor on it will actually slow your speed down. Because of what we gave Cobaline, we go look at her abilities, we have her on back slam. So we could get her early damage, but I'm going to go down the plate armor route for her. So we're just going to give this to Coglin. Cobaline says dinner's almost ready. She decided to go with the pear thing. Venison seemed a little unappetizing tonight. Ever notice how they keep glowing after they're dead? Doesn't surprise me. It's like fireflies. What, you never crushed fireflies as a kid? I did not. You weren't the least bit curious. Anyway, they fade out eventually. Oh, look at that gulper. Alright, we still have a bunch of areas that we're going to have to go through. I want to build a pass right here. This will help us significantly later. Because this first one is only 3 chapters, we can spend a little bit more time with our characters in getting all of these filled out. But the first goal is we're going to clear everything so that incursions can't happen. Let's go ahead and scout. We'll immediately assault. I have to be honest, I'm glad it's you cooking tonight. My feet are so tired, my hands are starting to feel it. Don't get too excited. So, we'll hit Berry Tunnel tomorrow morning, but that'll detour will add more time than we thought it would, and our food's running a little low. How low? I've got onions and some more onions. I thought there was still jerky. I figured we'd need that tomorrow. Onions aren't a meal, they're an ingredient. We have 31% of getting fish and 50% of getting whatever she can do with onions, so let's find out. I bet I can change your mind. Watch this. A good onion soup can hold its own against any other meal. Low and slow, that's the key. How slow? Start thinking of stories now. The version they tell in Crooktoon Wood differs in one key way, you see, because the agricultural significance of the even later. And I was astounded. There it was, in the original document. Even later than that. So, how much longer you think? They're not doing what I wanted them to do. I'm not sure if it's salvageable at this point. Sorry about the onion mush. No, it's good. It's, okay, you're right, it's disgusting, but thanks for trying. Interfuse, do I have a discus anywhere? Or Bone Lance. We'll do Wild Grasp. These guys are always really rough enemies to go up against. There's a whole campaign centered around them. It's a really good campaign. I can't wait until we get to it. The consideration to make with the Thrixel whenever you go up against them is that they interfuse objects, and that gives them special abilities. And it also takes an interfusion from your person. You can't interfuse something they already did. So it weakens your mystics just a little bit. Move up. So we also have a spirit. If we can catch up to the spirit, which I'm going to try to desperately, we can get a magical item. Actually, I'm going to move her right up to it, because nothing's in here. So this will give me a fire sword. Magic items have slightly less stunt damage, but they have a stunt effect added onto them. So for this one, if it's fire, it means it damages up to 3 nearby enemies. So whenever you get a critical hit, you'll actually watch like a fire mote explode out, and it'll hit 3 different enemies in the area. It's quite good. Quite good. Alright, we're just going to move everybody up to the door, as I always do. The enemies can actually break through the doors. If like one of them sets off an alarm, then the other ones will know we're there, and they will just clobber straight through it. It's kind of fun. Oh boy, that was closer than I thought they'd be. Let's go ahead and move up here. So here's it interfusing. This is a bone lance, so that should be able to go right through both of them. There we go. Bone lance is easily one of my favorite interfusions. And there goes Weaver. Let's see, we can upgrade his Blood Rage. We're really not taking too much damage. This is one of those things that's better to have. This is really useful if you start getting the longer campaigns, because as you age out your group, you can send your older people to start working on getting things built up and ready behind them, and start sending your younger people forward to start getting the experience. Because we're not going to deal with that as much, we're just going to go ahead and upgrade our Blood Rage. We have Travel Traff, so that's tier 1. The Hunters have the same armor setup as the Warriors do. They have a low speed set and then a high dodge set. Usually I feel it's better to go with the high dodge. Having more mobility is never a bad thing. And now the Thrix will have extra armor. We can discuss this. I know it's been coming up and I haven't really talked about it yet. Whenever you start the game, you have 4 different factions in every game that you're going to be in. Like this game, there's no Draven. These factions get stronger over time, so periodically there are these things called calamities which add extra cards, and every time you fight and defeat the enemy forces, they will also get extra cards and become slightly stronger. So things that we've already had happen is the Raccoons have Corrupt Path, we have Ragers added to the deck, the Ragers have more health now, and now the Raccoons have more health. Because we just fought the Thrixel, the Thrusk enemy type just gained extra armor. You can also do like a basic card view or a monster view if you want to see kind of like a brief breakdown of them. You can hover over them and it'll tell you what's going on with each enemy type itself. Once you get a ton of cards, the monster view is a lot better than the card view, but it is really great if you do the 100 card start and then I actually went and did the achievement where you get so many calamities in a certain game, and if you do the start, it just goes forever and then just scroll down. It's brilliant. Let's move on over to here. So this is calamities. You can cancel calamities using legacy points. Be strategic about it. Think very carefully whether or not it's going to be a big deal to your game. This right now, it will add Bogmore. It will cost 1 legacy point to get rid of it. Legacy points are used to recruit legacy allies and also to make up for the lack of materials for your items in the game. When we get to the items, I'll show you more about that. I generally don't do this because I find it's better to just get a legacy hero and have more legacy points for my equipment. I generally feel like in this difficulty, I can deal with anything that this is going to throw at me. So I usually don't cancel anything. Alright, we're in the outer forest. Let's go ahead and assault it. A twisting path takes them up to the high hills, and finally, into the company of the local peaks. Breathe that in. Mountain air makes me remember things. Ugh, I wish it wouldn't. I used to, well, there were things I used to collect. Not stolen, obviously, but just things people lost. Kept them in a cave in the mountains. Landside buried at one wet summer. Waste of good hoard. For 20 paces, the only sound is the scrape of their feet on rough granite. Any idea which direction we're supposed to go? The way forks. One path leads higher, to the top of a precarious cliffside. The other path curves downwards, under the shadow of high rocks. Alright, we're going to roll and see what we do. I got a 2. So we're going to take the cliff path. We're going to go up. Looks like a cottage up this way. Cliff Top Cottage. Bet they've got something hidden up there. Maybe. What if they do? Slender walking here. The path sticks to a narrow turning to the mountain. They climb up and cross the wind-carved rock. Was always skeptical about travel accounts. Ugh. Try that again. Was always skeptical about travel accounts. Flowery writers, but up high, you can really distinguish the faces of the land. Anyone else gasped, my legs are killing me. Reminds us how strong we get, we can always improve. You are the absolute worst. Hey, let's try our serious faces, huh? At least until we've made an impression. Hello? Anyone at home? This neatly piled cabin smells like sweetgrass. Its lacquered logs look strong, well-tended. A distant hawk speaks up. Besides bird and wind, there's only silence. Coglin stoops through. Is there any... Oh. Fancy morning. Would you like pork rust with your tea? Or are you a coffee man? Griddle cakes aplenty. Aromas of sizzling pork rust, hot oil, and floral tea sting in the nose. These cabin walls enclose a cozy lived-in lair for one. Chairs and root stools and a round rose table are space for a hungry company. Can always make griddle cakes aplenty. Those saying otherwise are spewing slander. Little spew some slander bugs. I'll have a... Wait, sorry. Who are you? We were just passing by the... With no intention of intruding. Me? Who am I? They call me... The Witch of the Mountain! She throws a sack of flour over her shoulder. But I'm alright with Kimtia. Kimtia is what I was born as. I'm a mischief maker, mostly. I guess my hairdo says that clear enough. Anyways, mischief's not all I make. Famously, I also make wonderful golden brown griddle cakes. For those who solve my Gorgaloo puzzle, the Gorgaloo puzzle is about to commence. Gorgaloo puzzle, love it. Alright, let's go. So you actually fight her and the Gorgons. We'll move forward here. Interviews. Get... Scalding Rain's good. We'll drop it on the raccoon. That's actually a bigger threat than she is. We'll move Kobolin up. There goes Kimtia. We'll move Coglin forward. And there she goes, raccoon. Very unfortunate. Alright, let's try that again. There she goes, raccoon. Alright, there we go. We have a row. I'm not sure a row of what, but it's definitely a row. It dodged. Move Kobolin up. And it's gone. So a lot of the maps are generated randomly, but when you have events like this, it usually uses the same map. And then all the story events will also be on the same map. Let's rush everybody forward to the door, and we will wait one turn till we get everybody caught up. Open door. We have a Rager. I can hit it from here. Move him forward to here. This has Wild Grasp on it. I don't think the Rager's actually in range for it, but we'll have it for a little bit later, and then we'll just wait. Move forward, guard. Move forward in front of her, and then wall. Move her back one, and we're going to start shooting at this Bogmore. Wild Grasp the Rager. Just because I can. Move him forward. We'll guard up. So now I have Blood Rage Plus, so I can actually get +2 damage at any point I need it. We're going to go ahead and just activate it now to get this over with faster. There goes the Bogmore. Shoot and miss. We're going to move you forward, and we're going to interfuse here for a Discus. Discus to Rager. Opaline to Rager. And counter over. There we go. So this is a speed increase. Now Cobaline, we're going to be stacking a bunch of armor on top of, and she's going to quickly not be able to keep up pace, so we're going to start stacking speed on her now. MT, a Witch of the Mountain, drops back against Infenigen. Ack! Alright. But she pops back up. Oh, sorry, yeah. I wanted to give you a bit of an elongated victory thing. You got all the Gorgaloos. Unscathed for the most part, though, aren't you? That feels anticlimactic. Your disregard for normal interaction is almost over-careful. What do we even accomplish? Why, you earned a sample of one of my mountain's recipes, of course. Oh, hungry are you? Choose carefully, for in my waywardness and my gross olive-hearted way, I've designed that each delicious delectogram deliver a different delight. Alright, let's see. Generally, it depends on where I'm at. +2 health is always good. Plus speed is always good. And these will actually, these boosts are forever. So it's something to really carefully consider. If you go through multiple encounters, getting retirement age is also super nice. So we're going to do speed for all party members. We're going to get to tea and oats. While they eat mugs of tea and oats, Kimtia gives a brief account how she ended up on the mountain. Persecuted, robbed, run out of 10 towns, she retreated to this high home where her eccentricities, frequent mischief would only bother those who blundered into her domain. And that's the point. Aren't we all fair game? Haunted I'll always be, my memory sharp and scattered like flung mere on this very mountainside. Haunted me, and this house, and these chairs, and stools, and treats. Only the coffee's normal, I'm afraid to say. The only earthy, blue coffee. She goes on for a while yet. They bid the Witch of a Mountain goodbye. They take a swift way down by her direction. Mountain air, huh? Clearly you can get too much. Their dealings with the Witch of the Mountain don't go unmarked. The locals tell sour stories about the League of Heron and their deeds for years afterwards. But everybody's faster for it. And we spent some legacy points on that. The Gorgons will now have Geist, which are wonderful looking bears. Now we're going to come up here, and we're not going to do the assault on this one. What we're going to do is we're going to scout it. And after scouting it, we will no longer have a chance to an incursion. And then we can start getting this whole map cleared out. So we're going to do a patrol. Hopefully we'll beat this out in the timer. Or was this fixed? There should be no infested tiles now. If it was fixed, then that's fine. We still want to get these items to get our people buffed up, because it's really a good chance to get it. Yep, you see how it stopped? Alright, we have a plus to armor. We're going to give that to Cobaline because she has back slam. Then we'll come all the way down here. Find an item. Now this is interesting. When I was originally playing the game when it came out, if you did this, this would actually become a dash dash and it would reset the timer each time. So it's good that they're just pausing it. It makes it a little bit less exploitable. And then this tile will reinfest itself as time goes on. But we have plenty of time right now to get our items built up. We have melee and ranged accuracy. We're going to give that to Ethusia. That allows her to spread damage out a little bit better. Let's go find an item. Our incursions have started back up. We're going to go back up there and try to pause it again. We might run out of time on the way there. If worst comes to worst, we will fight the incursion. We have extra potency. Potency is useful for everybody. Primarily, it's useful for your magic and magic users and mystics, because that's what spell damage is based off of. But if you have a hunter and they have what they call quelling moss, the potency also affects the damage of quelling moss, which could give you more poison over time. So, as always, be tactical in your deliverance of stuff. Yeah, we'll just go ahead and station. We'll make a station here that will give us... I'd like some more ingots. We'll do ingots and fabrics. And then we're going to have the incursion. We're going to fight the incursion so we can show you guys that. We will want to do this, but we are so close to an incursion, it is not going to be worth our time. We could try and go stop that, but I don't think we're going to make it there. Yeah, we're 34 days away. So we're going to go do what we're going to do here. Let the incursion go. It should go this route right here. Probably 1, 2, then over that way. We'll go secure this. It'll take it a few days to actually get there. Because I have been wiping infestations off, it's not that strong. They're almost here. We have more bonus damage. We can give that to Hoglin. Let's take a look where everyone's at right now. So he would get a +1. She would not go up yet. He would also get a +1. If you ever want to like look, you can kind of take a peek and you can click the wiki to see what's going to happen if you do these things. We're just going to give it straight to Hoglin. And we're going to say prepare defenses. I don't think we actually have enough time to even get a tier 1, but it does help. There's 1. Just 1. So defenses weaken the incursion as they come onto the tile. It'll make their size slightly smaller, thus reducing their strength. Because of the difficulty of this game right now, I'm just going to straight defend it and see if we can't beat out a tier 6, which will give us more experience. The Gorgons have come. Leak bellows rise from all around. A beast full of bloodlust and indigo bile. How should the defenders respond? Hoglin, I'm glad you're here. Alright, I always do usually what's the highest chance. Because nothing's guaranteed. But I want to do charge to battle because that can give us courage. The great cry they share, the strength of standing side by side, fills them with defiant courage. They charge. Courage is really good. Gives everybody +2 damage of potency for 3 turns. It's a good way to start. So in incursions, you actually start on a map, usually with some NPCs to help you. And you're just kind of being attacked by a bunch of these enemies. And then you get special abilities. My favorite one, if we ever get to it, is catapults. I absolutely adore when there's catapults on the map. Alright, we have a Geist down here. We're gonna hold off on the volley of arrows. We're gonna move these guys down here. These guys are gonna die. I'm just gonna say that right now. They're going to be killed. The Geist output just tons of damage. We're gonna Guardian here. I'll put you up here. You both are gonna guard each other. We'll wall up right here and wait. We'll move up here to see if we have anything over here. I don't think we're going to. Yeah, it looks like we have all the enemies in one wave right now because it's such a weak incursion. Alright, it's just right up in my face. Okay, let's move back and shoot. There goes the row. We have Griffboar. Sometimes it is a pain to click. So we can move these guys down here and use them as the cannon fodder that they are. Hey, look, they killed one, though. Good job. Late game, incursions become brutal, and that's what building defenses is for. We're going to do volley of arrows to do some damage to the Bogmore and to the Rager. And then we can have her move up and finish it. She got that critical hit, so you saw that fire shoot over to the Rager. It's a nice little effect. Anything else over here? We'll just wait. Ooh, you're playing with fire. Like I said, Geist, as expected of bears, do ridiculous amounts of damage. Oglin, finished Rager off. Start moving everybody back. I don't think they're going to make it to help with the Geist, but we can at least try. Move him all the way to here. We're just gonna move her off the Gorgon land and then guard. We'll move her all the way down to here. Press F in the chat for that poor man. Alright, come down to here. Volley of arrows, because I can. Interfuse, which will end my turn, but I'll get a discus out of this. And see if we can't finish this thing. There we go. Good job, Kobaline. And the only one of the villagers who survived was Dak. Alright, so the plus to archery is not worth it. I don't feel it's worth it, at least. Quelling Moss is amazing. Quelling Moss allows you to start stacking poison damage. Your regular hits will do poison damage, and then you can do an AoE poison attack, which will poison everything in the range around it. Simply fantastic. I highly recommend Quelling Moss. Alright, we have Kobaline. So now that makes it so... This would make it so Backslam does damage to enemies when you back them into it. I generally speaking, because we're going to be stacking her in armor, we're going to want her up front at all times. So we could either go as more health or Blood Rage. Either one of them are excellent abilities. I think we're going to go with Blood Rage, because she's going to start taking a lot of damage from enemies who have magic attacks. So we might as well make it so we hit harder for it. Alright, now looking at the map, we have everything but the special quest, so we're going to go do that real fast. One Misty's Fall night. Two friends walk these woods on a poorly planned patrol. Not to question your good sense or anything, but... Yeah, I know. Let's find a path, but hey. Know what this reminds me of? What are those books you read? The ones with, like, blood snakes and bat lords. Oh, KO. Oh, you're talking about Seven Harrows. That's by Dak Toro. It's Bloodlords and Bat Snakes. Actually, yeah, I'm also sort of getting... that vibe. God. Oh, I want to see. I wish to see. We're going to drop her and get my Mystic in here. They're going to go do their thing. And while they're doing this thing, we'll just have her gear this up. Might as well. There's no light, no sense of up and down. In the trapped air, every sound and sense feels close. Where am I? Am I blind? Am I alone? Enthusia, oh thank all the gods you're awake. A flame flares. Coglin carefully sets down a small copper lantern. The shock of the light is its own kind of blindness. As Enthusia's eyes adjust, she sees the prison that surrounds them. Earthen walls, crude bars of barely shorn boughs. What happened? I remember being in the woods, and then a cultist, rock scratchers, bull worshippers, left us with his lamp and a little oil. I guess they planned to let us waste away. Not sure what else. There's a simple sadistic genius in the message, leaving us light starved by. Yeah. Well, the bars are wood, so... Tried it. You tried the... Age is awfully impervious. I'm sure the explanation is dissatisfying. Old abiding magic of some kind. My axe has no effect. The lamp flame won't burn it. And I guess these earth walls? That's all I can think of is a dig. Without food, doubt we'll get anywhere. Yeah. By our captures, did they come by? Have they? At least once while I was awake. I slept some. Don't know how long. How are you doing? Have you been alright? I'm mostly fine. You've been out, and that's what I was really worried about. Well, and we're here. We're armed, we have our stuff, we have some time, and there's nothing to eat? Nah, that's what makes me the most anxious. Seems like we won't be fed. Fine, okay. Any other prisoners, or just us? No, prisoners per se, but there's this thing. It's nestled there, like the body of a brass pillbug, joints crusted with dry earth. A device of the old mortificers, mostly intact, but clearly lacking the spark of imagination. Don't worry, though. It's just some old broken boneimation. Long time since it's been working. But this is not nothing. Look at its hands. Did they plant this here? It looks like it hasn't moved in forever. I'm getting a scary plant. Minutes bleed to hours, coagulate into unguessable chunks. Nights, days, dreary, hungry. Ethusia keeps studying the broken thing in the corner, gripped by the feeling that she can't shake. Coglin scrapes the beginnings of the schemes in dirt, but they're far too elaborate. Eventually, it comes upon a conclusion, fairly simple. You want to talk? Think I have something. Yeah, well, can I say I've been thinking? So we play dead, very convincingly. Logically, they put us here for some purpose. Us being dead disrupts that. So when they come here to examine our corpses, we jump them. I can almost see it working, yeah, as long as they care to remove us in a timely fashion, which I don't know. Here's what I'm thinking. Look at this old thing's shovel hands. If we can repair it, we have a tool to dig us out, forces them to either intervene or let us go. Repairing it, the more I think about it, shouldn't be much harder than replacing where the old sinew and it's rotted away, and feeding blood into its system. What? I'm suggesting you cut off my left arm, and we use this tissues to get the old creature working. And then it digs us out. So... our charisma's pretty shit. But losing an arm is pretty harsh on a hunter. You can get, like, a crossbow. But I feel the crossbows are never quite as good. So we're gonna try to play dead and see what happens. They fall into dead positions and go still. They let the lamp burn high. The light dims and fails. As agreed from the outset, they lie motionless as possible, swallowing their breaths. They don't speak, don't shift. Who knows how closely they're being watched. The weight is excruciating. Empty bellies seem to howl, shriek, echo. The inclination to fall asleep grows powerful. Spells doom. Hips, spines, shoulders ache and stiffen and bruise. Is anyone watching? Will anyone comfort them? Derp, derp, derp. This last trial of silence bites hardest. Surely their bodies will betray the ruse. They try not to tense, holding their breaths. With a grunt, one ties a tuft of purple moss to the bars, then lights it with flint and sword. Flaring up, the moss blazes amidst a smoke that smells like scorched olives. These unnatural flames burn a portal in the mystic prison. Now, Ethusia. Ethusia and Colgrin try to leap up in a rush. Their muscles resist, malnourished and abused. They rise wobbling, but brave-faced. Weary free, they charge their startled foes. So we're gonna get a debuff. We just lose one hit point, that's not bad. That's not bad at all. Alright, let's move forward. We're gonna guard here, move up, and we're gonna do Quelling Moss to start poison on him. There goes one. There goes two. Easy peasy. Anybody who's one-handed, this will be useful. Kobolini, I believe, you only uses one hand right now. They'll throw it on her. Oh, we now have a shield. Hoglin, I believe, is also one-handed. Yep, so we'll throw it on him. I think we're clear. This air is as good as sunlight. What is this place? A mine, looks like. Yeah, long abandoned. There's a rusty pickhead here, in the dirt. The day awaiting them is high and bright. The scent of dry, shivering grass hangs in the fall breeze. Freedom smells so good, doesn't it? Days later, they reach home in a buzzing sunset. A warm hour they'll share with their cicadas in the road. Think it'll be a while before I can stand to spend a day under a roof. Yeah, I think we've both earned a little time. Don't be afraid to take it. Alrighty, we have this right here. We'll go through each one of them. Windwalk, I've never used. Not gonna lie. It could be useful, but I don't know anything about it. We just got some retirement age for doing a personal quest. Thornfang is not bad, but that would imply that you have a melee hunter, so I feel there is a discrepancy in what you're trying to accomplish. Flash Cone is also not bad. Flare also does the same thing from your Mystic. What we're going to do is we're going to upgrade Quelling Moss so we do more poison damage. And then we've already done everything on the map, so let's go ahead and finish the chapter by assaulting with everybody. By the time Kobolin gets there, we should have everybody healed up. The raccoons got stronger. There's now going to be 2 raccoons for every raccoon card drawn. None of us knew what had changed the beast who roamed our wilds. We knew something lived inside them. Blue burning hate that frenzied them, then left them still. A stone sentence, worse and more deadly than any venom. Today we would finally find out where it came from, and why it wouldn't stop. Well, Sorrow Gap Forge looks mostly intact, but we should still stay ready. Palgan, anything? I don't know, but believe me, I'm not falling asleep back here. Personally, I'm done expecting things to go smoothly. Yeah, I'm with you. Their approach to the town of Sorrow Gap Forge is completely silent. Alright, we're in the last encounter of the game, for this chapter at least. If you come up here, a little tidbit I like to share is none of these people are fast enough. If you have a legacy character who has speed upgrades on them, and you max out their speed as best as possible, you can completely bypass what we're about to see. There we go. As horrific as it is fascinating, what could do this? All at once, and how many more are there? There's tracks, they go to that barn door. Wait, shh. You hear that? Whatever did this could still be inside. Alright, we have raccoons on our ass. We're gonna have a Geist in one of these barns. We have a Bogmore up ahead. There is a boss on this map. If you defeat the boss, the encounter's over. It is inside the barn over here. We'll just guard. We'll just guard. And she's not going to get close enough to hit anything, so we'll just wait. Move her up. And shoot. It blocked. Very unfortunate. Use Discus on it. Move up. And we're going to move all the way up to here, even though I'll be in Gorgon land, just to give a walling bonus. There we go. I like to just rush this fight. Because you can get yourself in a really bad way if you don't rush it. You can get your people really hurt up before they have to go fight the boss. What's even funnier is that the boss later on becomes a regular card that can be drawn. And I've had it happen before where even like super rushing the game, I had the final boss start appearing as its own regular card. We're going to move up to here. And we'll just Quelling Moss. Get poison going now. Move up. Interfuse. We're going to go ahead and use a flare on it. Now it's blind, so it can't hit. Rush up. And rush up. Rude. Very rude, sir. I hit you. Unfortunately, I would hit everyone else if I did that. So we're going to move here. Get a shot off. My shot also applies poison. It will die next turn. It really doesn't have a choice about that. Have to withdraw. And then we'll just interfuse here just in case something weird happens. We're just going to take 4 true damage next turn. We're going to apply some poison. And we'll just go ahead and hit this thing. It'll also die next turn. If there's any doubt it's going to die next turn, we decided we're going to kill it this turn. Antler Bow. Alright, deals bonus damage to Gorgons. It's a bow, so of course we're going to give it to Ethusia. Alright, let's see. Soul Splitting is not bad, still, the upgrade. Generally speaking, Sharpshooter is also not bad to upgrade. What I would like to do is get Ignite, because that means I can create fire on a point. I'll admit, I'm just overcome with. How do you describe this thing? How about dead? I think we're hitting peak. What do you think? The hulking carcass steams from its many wounds. Hideous convulsions course along its appendages to the extremities of its body. Then... Ooh. Hoboline? No. I'm not gonna yell. I can't yell in this voice. The thing's tremendous tail flicks across the barn. It plucks up, Cobaline like she's a straw doll, her weapons falling uselessly from her hands as it pulls her in. Cobaline, don't panic! A voice leaks from Cobaline's mouth. It's a wrong voice, weird, discordant, like some fretting and plucking of a fiddle who's never picked one up. Still yourselves, bone stacks. This one speaks my words. I can make it die. You are not alike to us. Weak lungs and small minds. Stacks of splintering bones. Thin blood that will so readily betray you. Why flail for your lives so noisy? You can survive this, just put her down. You think I flail for life as you do? I am Gorgon. The Master Ulstryx has promised us silence. The voice dissolves into a sound like rain or distant waves. Wiggling grips tighten. A tentacle invades Cobaline's ear. Stop! Holgun leaps forward, lifting a nearby pitchfork and hurling it with thunderous force. Stop, I said! The tines of the fork sink into the beast's neck. Cobaline falls free from its tendrils. As Griffbore and Ethusia rush over to make certain of the Gorgon's demise, Holgun supports Cobaline, helping her to stand. You're here, Cobaline. You're all right. A strange, stony affliction spreads from Cobaline's ear. Cobaline? This isn't over. I saw its mind. The stone was in its claws. Cobaline takes a stone from Griffbore's palm, turning it in front of her eyes, catching slender sunbeams that slice with the barn wall. The strange polyhedral stone is slick with Gorgon blood. Epicryst. Each face is graven with an intricate image. The word in the Gorgon's head, it was Epicryst. This town, Sorrowgap Forge, these petrified people, even this monster, none of it matters. The Epicryst glistens, sticky and blue. The Gorgons have a master, Ulstryx it's called. It's searching for something, some myth or secret. I think the riddle is in the stone. I think we have to find out what Ulstryx wants, and make sure he doesn't get it. Alright, that's chapter 1 complete. So now we can see what resources we've gathered after the fact from the outpost. We can see how many years of peace that we've gained. The more years of peace will actually age your characters. When we continue on, we're going to see kind of like an after story for what the characters have done in the meantime between this chapter and the next one. And then we'll be able to do some equipment. So let's move on. It does remove some of the calamity cards. It's not really that big of a deal. It doesn't help that much. The Gorgon's mark grew and crusted over to cover one side of Cobaline's face. It would be a grim reminder of the encounter that day in the Sorrowgap Forge barn. A traveling salesman won Griffbore's heart with a steady stream of gifts. Gorgeous, and the lady ain't half bad either. Halgalin added a new addition to his house. There was just something about having a dedicated research room that boosted productivity. Hey, Ringing Manor windmills up and running again. It's symbolic, you know, of bread. Well, sure, that, or maybe I'm just hungry. Alright, here's equipment. So I always like to make sure everyone's protected immediately. That's usually my first regard. Because I have it, we're going to get her some Nightmail, like, right off the bat. That's going to make her back slam do some serious damage. We're going to go through and make sure everyone's at least 1 star. You have a trade-off here between getting more physical armor and just better armor overall, but less spell damage, but you can do this and get higher warding and more spell damage. So we're going to go with spell damage, because I shouldn't be up front. We already have tier 1 on him, so let's go through and check out our equipment. We have 0-star equipment here, so we need to fix that. For every piece of material that you're missing, you can substitute 1 legacy point to get the item. Let's see, let's take a look. We can get a staff. Staff tier 1 will be 4 damage, range 2.1. The staff will give us some block, but it'll take up both hands, so we can't have like a shield or an item later that lets you get higher potency. We can get a magic item. We have enough legacy points to accommodate that. For now, we're just going to get a regular wand, and we're going to see what the fates give us. Now we have this. Let's take a look at what we can give him. We can go ahead and just give him a regular axe, and that'll get him on par as everyone else. We can look at secondhand items if we're interested, see if anything really gets our goat going. None of these are that interesting for our current builds, so we're just going to move on. We have 11 legacy points, which will be useful for hiring people. Dahlgren volunteered in his free days to deciphering the Epicryst. This is true. It hasn't always gone smoothly, and progress has mostly dripped along. The meanings of the weird stone have remained inscrutable for years. But today, something in his research slides into place. There's history here. And now we can guess where the enemies might be. It explains why we've had a few years of relative peace. Do you see what I mean? Here, imagine you're trying to raise an army. What's the first thing you'll do?
Raise an army?
Right, an army, out of just normal folks.
I suppose I'd look for an enemy first. People love to have someone to hate.
A symbol. You'd want a symbol to rally support, wouldn't you? Especially if your people are ancient, set in their ways.
So you're saying Ulstryx, our master of Gorgons, needs this thing. What is it, some kind of divine spear? As a symbol to help convince the other Gorgons to follow it?
Yes, that's what I believe.
And why does it need to do that? Why does it need the spear? Why does it need the support of the others like it? What is Ulstryx?
All interesting questions. What I know is what I learned from the stone in our meager archive. I was able to find other records of Epichrist, rubbings. That was my first clue. An Epichrist is like an ancient storytelling device, a way for telling a time-honored myth, but maybe in a different order of a fashion. That's what I think, and yet... But, anyway, I'm sorry. I'm getting swept up. I checked the story elements here, against some of our older legends. Do you know what tall tale, kind of poem, or song in some places, Queen of the Seas?
No, but get to the point.
Our stone tells almost the same story, almost, and according to our version, the spear was laid to rest in a named cavern. It's on one of our maps.
So that gives us an advantage, right? We know where it is. But they got a pretty big head start, so... I don't know if it has anything to do with this, but Gorgon sightings are picking up again. Now it seems like a good time for us to get started. We've all changed, remember? All the havoc those things caused, and we couldn't stop them. But we're ready this time, aren't we? We stand alone in many ways, but we still stand.
The shadows still deepen.
So, from this point forward, the enemies are going to be stronger, and we're going to call this for today. I'll pick up recording the next chapter at a later date. Save and quit. That has been the first chapter of the Age of Ulstryx. If you guys like what you saw, please consider liking and subscribing. I'm going to be getting back into a regular schedule of uploading. Not exactly sure what that's going to look like yet, but I would like to give you guys more content like this. I enjoy reading, I enjoy visual novels, and I would love to share that with everybody here. Without further ado, this has been Typhoon Lordgrieve, signing off from Chapter 1. Have a wonderful evening, everyone.